What video game is an absolute 100/100ths in your opinion? Age of Empires 2. It has stood the test of time. This weekend the biggest tournament ever sponsored by Red Bull will start. Crazy to say that when talking about a 20-year-old game. Edit, wow, I did not expect so much liked and reactions. Great to see so many people agree with me and are enjoying this game. To answer some of the most asked questions comments, how do you watch the tournament? I think starting tomorrow you search of form the Red Bull Twitch channel. Probably you can find it just searching O2 on Twitch. Can you still buy this game? Yes, it's on Steam. Be sure to get O2 that's the definitive edition. It still gets regular updates and has a very active player base. Also there are tons of single player campaigns. You are just a shill for Red Bull. Nope, I don't drink Red Bull and find it disgusting. But it is still cool that they are sponsoring it, that's why I mentioned them. Insert game is also old but better. I really enjoy other older games as well. It doesn't have to be just one game. But for me O2 is the one that I just keep going back to and keep playing. Have fun everyone, be sure to give it a try and get some nice nostalgia feelings. Man, I was like 15 and my uncle showed me this game. I would always beat him badly when we played Red Alert and at first I was destroying him at O2 but he just kept practicing. He had sheets of notes he had made. Like he literally would test how much damage everything did and ran races of different units to test speeds and had notes of everything. We would play and he would lay all these notes on the table he would set up at. It was insane but it worked. He started beating me every damn time we would play. I'm convinced he's like a top-ranked player and won't tell me lol. Is your uncle Spirit of the Law? No clue. I know he still plays but he doesn't like to talk about it for some reason. What is he up to this weekend during the Red Bull tournament? Coincidentally, out of town. #Seuss. I'm sure if you pressure him to tell you he'll finally tell you he has a mistress, which is Super Seuss, most likely a lie to cover for the tournament. Roller Coaster Tycoon. Used to play it back in elementary school. Still play it to this day using OpenERCT. And it was coded in assembly. Still blows my mind. For those who don't know, coding in assembly is like building a house, but not starting by buying lumber to frame it, but by mining metal so you can refine it into a saw blade so you can use the saw blade to cut down the tree and mill it into lumber. Then doing the same to forge your hammer and nails, etc. all the way to finally build a house. And it had hardly any bugs. Unlike most houses these days. Portal. Age of Empires 2, especially in its current state. They've done a remarkable job with the new updates. The graphics look great, the gameplay is as good as ever, and the entire game feels incredibly balanced. The fact that so many people still love and play this 20-plus-year-old game is remarkable in itself. Super Mario World. The perfect Mario game gave me many hours of joy to this day. I used to draw the star map in math class to flirt with the girl in front of me. It didn't work. Her loss. Need for Speed Underground 2. Open world and a great soundtrack makes for some real core memories here. Riders on the Storm with Snoop, right? Every time it comes on without Snoop on a Spotify playlist my brain automatically starts going ride, 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 ride in Snoop's voice. Permanently embedded in there. BioShock. From the beginning in the ocean and going down to Rapture. A failed libertarian society full of mutants and little sisters to save. I wish I could experience it for the first time again. Chrono Trigger. Old school RuneScape is a solid 9,999 for me. 9,299 users love Ozzers, a solid 50%. I still remember the day I found out 92 was the halfway point to 99. My highest skills were in the low 80s and I thought I was so close. Terraria. Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time has to be it for me. Going back after completing it just to watch the sunrise at Lake Hylia was just so special. Everything about the game was a masterpiece. Honorable mentions go to Half-Life 2, Stardew Valley and Portal 2. All are definitely up there. Left 4 Dead 2. I never played the first one but the amount of details in it is crazy. The best thing about 2 is that it comes with the first game included, as well as the updated variant zombies to make the original more fleshed out. Baldur's Gate 2. I cannot be caged. I cannot be controlled. Understand this as you die, ever pathetic, ever fools. This comment made me check Google to remind me who did the incredible voice acting for John Irenicus, and it seems David Warner died a few months ago. Incredible actor. He did a similarly amazing job in Star Trek, TNG as the Cardassian torturing Picard, the Four Lights episode. Well now. I just found out David Warner is my favorite actor. Also, while Baldur's Gate 2 is objectively better than BG1, I believe Baldur's Gate I with the Tales of the Sword Coast expansion pack is the pinnacle of gaming. 100,100 for me on that, with GI, and Throne of Baal expansion, a 98,100. Nothing else is even close except Disco Elysium, which I will also award a 98,100. And for the same reason, an ability to construct a hugely engaging world at large, exceptional writing, regards dialogue especially, but also plot, and crucially, the cry for humanity at the center of the tales even in their darkest moments. And that, in my opinion, is what elevates them above the rest of gaming. Fallout New Vegas. The Sims 2. Sims 2 is perfection. I've been running the same family for 6 generations, playing every sim in each generation. I do one sim day before moving on to the next sim household, so I can keep everyone aging at the same pace. I'm over 300 sims from birth to death at this point. Edit, so many comments and upvotes. Thanks. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy to think of all the sims I've raised. The Bovary family lives on. I was reading Madame Bovary when I started the family. Probably RimWorld just because you can do everything and everything can happen. I love so much this game. I love that the game is completely ruthless. In a recent save I had 2 colonists scraping an existence in the tundra, had finally stockpiled enough food for the long cold winter when an electrical short burnt down my fridge and destroyed nearly all of my food. We limped along for a bit killing whatever unfortunate creatures wandered into the map, but it came down to only dangerous predators and I had to take the gamble. My best hunter shot and wounded a warg, but it charged and downed him before he could kill it. My other colonist was nearby and tried to finish the job, but the warg charged him down, too. The warg then collapsed from blood loss, and the 3 of them lay near one another, slowly exsanguinating, until everyone was dead. Half-Life 2. Diablo 2. Super Mario Bros. 3. Dead Space. Factorio. The only reason that this isn't at the top of the list is that all the Factorio players are actually playing the game. Also, the only game I've ever seen where people will non-ironically refer to themselves as a noob with only a couple hundred hours of play. The skill ceiling is incredibly high. Edit, this was literally the next post on Reddit. A discussion about mining efficiency for a save game with over 7,000 hours. On that single save. Players with that much time in the game are still learning. Edit 2, I'm concerned about the number of people who found that post useful. I'm hardly one to talk, but seriously go check and see if you still have family and if they know that you are still alive. U4, CK2, and other Paradox games are like this too. One of the goats of the game even made a review after 18,000 hours about having just finished the tutorial Lamau. Paradox games rot and corrupt during long play sessions though. Factorio is not only the greatest game, it might actually be the most efficient and stable piece of software ever created. People have 4K plus hours saves, with mega bases expanding hundreds of square kilometers, modded to death, and the game doesn't lose more than a couple of frames. StarCraft Brood War. To me it still has the coolest intro cinematic of any game ever. The music, the characters, the dread you feel. I enjoyed the plot of StarCraft 2 enough, but StarCraft 1 was truly a golden era for Blizzard in storytelling. Quake 3 Arena. So many people today don't know how important this engine was to gaming. So many of the franchises popular today used at least some of Quake III's engine even on consoles and everything. Every game felt like a reskinned Q3 from like 2000 to 2010. Red Dead Redemption. Anyone remember Deus Ex? Morrowind. God, this is the only test game that needs a remake. People who grew up too late for it get bored because of the punishing character creation and slow start to the story, but when you get past the guy who cloned himself as a woman however many times for unmentionable reasons, the story gets so immersive, even for a casual player. Even though, I doubt a remake could make it both accessible to more players while preserving the immersion the original game had. Also, Fortify Intelligence is op. Skywind should fix this for a lot of people. Part of the reason I'm excited for it. Also, the opening theme is an absolute banger. U2.B especially at 250 into the vid. Tingles. It's crazy to me how long Skywind's been in development, but K-Guess Morrowind has always had crazily dedicated modders. Morrowind must have the longest running most active modding community.